Good evening, welcome back to In the Khud. This is 26 May 2023, 6:54 p.m. and I'm gonna pick up right from where I left yesterday. There is nothing, no fluff that I want to do here. Yesterday I ended the episode with saying that I have to figure out the driver situation to make just one animation property move and have everything react to it. Well, good news, I have made progress in that aspect. So you see that in the timeline there is only one thing that I'm keyframing, and it is driving. Only the animation thing is getting keyframed. So you can see in the timeline. I have to shut this, and it is driving four things. So oh my god. So what I did the entirety of today was trying to figure out how I can have one such constant with which I could have these values interdependent. So I thought, let's just call that t, and variable t is equal to 1. That's one thing that you just saw in the geometry nodes modifier. So I first was trying to divide this into 4, because from here, if I go here, you see parts. We have base, we have 4 parts. So base, row, trees, compound, ground floor, podium, trees, climbers, pillows, clubhouse, floors and terraces. And then I wanted to further divide those sections into 4 parts as well. So the way I did that is, let's say 0 to t, you divide it by 4, t by 4, 2t by 4, 3t by 4. We'll have to do with this lighting. Sorry, this is the poor code. We don't have good enough lighting to work with. Anyway, so back to what I was trying to discuss. T by 4, 2t by 4, 3t by 4, and if you divide this further, you see into 4s, you get t by 16, 2t by 16, 3t by 16, 4t by 16, which is t by 4, and this continues up to 13t by 16, 14t by 16, 15t by 16, and t. Now, why all of this? Because I want to somehow have drivers react to that t value. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to try and show it to you. I scratched over all of the internet and I could not find this particular thing I was looking for. And as a gift from the heavens, Media uploaded this video, and this video exactly gives what I want, like using map range inside. Using map range like we use inside After Effects, but using it for Blender drivers. So this video is the credit for this expression. Animation is a property minus start min, start max. I'm going to show it to you how I did it for all these properties. Let's say I want to grow. Let's take something very obvious. Okay, I want to pop floors. Okay, I want this value to go from 0 to its maximum 10. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to take the base scale here, because if you see, base scale is input 7, and input 7 already has this situation here where we've defined 2 variables. You're first required to define 2 variables, or how many ever. You can add input variables here. So I've defined one variable called t, which is referring to nothing but this thing here, modifier geometry nodes input 23. If you look at the tooltip, input 23, and we have anim, which is again referring to input 22. Anim is the value which we're going to animate over our timeline. Okay, so these 2 variables is something we get. I'm going to come in here, base scale, I'm going to copy this driver, and on pop floors I want to come in and paste this driver. Now obviously we don't want this to happen. What this is doing right now is, if I was to come to pop floors, it's clamping it at 1, which is not what we want. Input 19 is this one. So I'm going to lock all the other ones and have this selected. So now here, this expression is something that you want to take care of. Let's say I want this to go from, if I open my pure ref, I have this. I want this to go from 3t by 4, like whatever t is. In this case it's 16, so it's going to divide it by like 1 second intervals. 3t by 4 to t. That is what I want to do. So I'm going to come in here and anim minus 0. Now I always get confused here, but 0 is basically the first part of this, and I can make it bigger as well. Okay, the first part before the multiplication is for the anim, like the keyframe that's going across the timeline, and the second part, this part, is for the particular property that we're trying to drive with the anim situation. So anim going from where? I wanted to go from 3t by 4 to t. So this here is going to be the minimum. So I'm going to come in here and say 3, and this is important.
multiply t. We can't write 3t, that doesn't work. So 3t by 4. Okay, that's the minimum. And the maximum we're going for is t minus the minimum was 3t by 4. Okay, and 3t by 4. And when this is happening, I wanted to go from what? 0 to 10. So maximum is going to be 10, 0, and plus minimum is going to be 0. And now nothing is happening because anim is only going till 4. Was to increase it somewhere near 16. You see in the graph as well. This is one more thing I figured is I'm going to select all my keyframes here. I'm going to my F curve and make this the end one. The end here. This one. This white thing is here. I am still struggling to understand how this graph actually works. But if AL features. Let's see the first value are being driven. Yeah, it is happening. So from why is it happening now? It wasn't happening earlier. When is this you had cleared keyframes? Oh, so it turns out that you clear keyframes and it starts working. Nice. Again, if you want to just clamp these values and not have it like go forever and ever, what you can do is over here, you see that the values are actually taking effect. Why is that happening? Because we did 3t by 4. So 3 into 16 by 4, 3 into 4, 12. So it should start at 12. And you can see that in the graph editor, that at 12 is where our value starts. And from 12 to 16 is what we're doing. We're going up. Okay, so 12 to 16. If I see from the very beginning and I'm going from up, from 0, we see all this effect happening between the podium and everything is going to come. And by the time it reaches here, we have this coming up from here to here. Now I will also have to do the test simultaneous because it's not a part of the whole structure. Maybe I can do something where it's a part of the structure, I think about it. But here, you want to come in here, select the last ECM, and in your F curve, instead of linear, you want to make it constant. And the last value here, you want to take this curve. Plane. I think there is a way you can take the last value one. You know? Okay, this one here. You want to clamp it and you want to take the last value up such that it is covering what we need. So I think it's at 10. I've fixed this at 10. But this key then and for it to constant. Oh no, that is also in terms of volume, but constant. Have an effect with these things like you can make a 10 minute handle. Autoclamp, automatic. And now it starts from 0, like up until here it stays 0. And then it comes like even you see these values, right? I have to do a similar thing about t. T stays 16. You see at the very beginning you see these values are going up and down is because the stamping is something you have to do in the graph editor. I will fix that. And when it hits 12, so it will come to 16 have this up. Now someone would be like, why all this effort, right? You could just have, and again there is actually a drawback to the system that I don't have very like modular control over the timing. I will have to, if I want to like offset things a little bit, I will have to go in and tweak values. There is some merit to having done this entire situation. That is to say, let's say if I was to come in here and animate this animation value going from 0 and in like I don't know, in let's say 64 frames. I would give a keyframe for animation, right? And in 64 frames, I would make this. This is fine at 16. I'll keyframe this. What will basically happen is your entire building comes up like this. Now, of course, that went way too fast. So I can come in here and take it to, let's say, 300 frames. And then, of course, if things are happening in between, you won't have this very awkward pause like the end. And at some point, our building, this should start coming up. And instead of 3T by 4, what I could do is for the top floor, which is input. Again, you don't see the name of the property here. You see input 19, which is very unnecessary. In 3T by 4, being the minimum, what I could do is probably make it. What is on the other sense? 2D by 4, or I can make it probably like a T by 5. Skill starts a lot sooner. T by. So now this will start. I'm not sure how I could achieve that. So again, yeah, this is more of like an exercise I'm trying to do because I want to understand drivers, and it's very good actually. Even if I don't end up using it for any of my projects, the fact that I invested so much time and effort to understand drivers and how things work, it's going to be useful somewhere in me. But that's it. That's what I want to document today. Other than that, I did like one adapt. I worked on that, and that's probably pretty installed. Towards the later half of the day, I was trying to work on having a world shader, which goes from day to night. And Kaizen has this very good tutorial where he shows how you can have a sun, and then using the sun position add-on, you can have this shader, which gives you a time-lapse feeling. Because that's the concept that I'm trying to go, where I want to come in here and take my camera from the entrance. And this is like low quality right now because I said that it was a reboot. I'm gonna come all the way up here, like my camera tracks up, and I want to come in and come over here and show the solar panels. So the concept, I mean, it's clear from me to decide what has to be done pretty nice. And a concept I'm trying to think of is I coming here, and when I come here, that is when we transition from day to night, and you have like these solar panels light up, and that lights up the entire building. And then we come behind it, and the camera behind, and the whole building is lit, and some sort of solar energy copy. So yeah, that is the progress for today. Thank you so much for being in the code. We're heading into the weekend. I had said in yesterday's video that we're gonna do decodes tutorials, but I really don't know at this point. Everything is very vague almost. We're going to see how things are. So thanks so much for being in the code. I will catch you tomorrow. See you now.